So 2 days ago, the NBA draft lottery odds were made official. And there's one thing about the NBA draft that never fails. And that's the overthinking by teams about which prospect to choose. And it gets worse with the higher the pick your team got. Because the higher the pick, the more options on who to select. And I get it, you know, the NBA draft, it's a big deal, especially for teams experiencing winning droughts. Making a big mistake on this day can be unforgivable. I mean, no one who wants to be the team that selected Anthony Bennett. However, sometimes the best move to make is obvious, and I believe that's the case with the Orlando Magic now that they've won the first overall pick. To me, this doesn't take too much thinking. Like, Chet Holmgren is their guy. Not because Jabari Smith isn't great, and not because Paolo Banchero couldn't also work wonders for their team, but because it simply makes the most sense according to their needs, and the fact that Chet has been widely recognized as the consensus #1 pick for a minute now. So yeah, in this quick video, we're going to talk about some of the reasons why Chet to the Orlando Magic should be as good as a done deal. And it's tempting to overthink it, but they really shouldn't. Like, just don't. But anyway, really quick before I go any further, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks back with a vid. If you're new, first of all, welcome. Go ahead and sub. Also like the vid if you enjoy. I plan to bring more consistent uploads for the summer, and we're also grinding for 5K. A lot of draft content on the way. I'm also touching to the playoffs. So yeah, I most definitely appreciate it. And yeah, back to the vid though. Now, when it comes to selecting draft picks, a lot of teams gotta choose between picking someone based on how they fit into the team or simply choosing the best available talent regardless of the fit and then trying to make it work. But like I said in the intro, Chet Holmgren to Orlando makes so much sense because he actually fits their needs and is arguably the best available talent. In the 32 games he played for Gonzaga, he put up averages of 14 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and nearly 4 blocks a game while shooting 60% from the field, 39% from deep, and 70% on free throws in 27 minutes per game. Those are really well balanced numbers, and although his scoring was nothing crazy this season, I mean, we're not going to pretend 14 points is something to parade about. It's only fair to take into account that this man was not the #1 scoring option. That was Drew Timme. And I mean, the efficiency to which Chet scores, it just tells you that with a few more shot attempts, this guy could easily score 20 a game, average 20, easy. So yeah, clearly the stats, the numbers, they check off. But see, Chet becomes even more impressive when you begin to look at his play style and versatility. If you go to the YouTube search bar right now and look up the words Chet Holmgren big guard, you're gonna see plenty mixtapes of his high school days with titles claiming that he shoots and handles like a guard. And although me personally, I would not go that far to claim he is versatile enough to consistently be your primary ball handler in the NBA like LeBron, he's still most definitely capable of bringing the ball up the court, using some nice dribble moves to get past defenders, and shooting perimeter shots. I mean, the proof is clear. 39% from deep for a 7-footer, that's amazing. And I know the ability for tall players to shoot is becoming more and more common in the NBA, but still, if Chet is able to translate this skill to the league, he'll be doing something that not many others with his same position can do. And he'll be doing it as a rookie. So yeah, offensively, the upside with him just seems endless. The 3-level scoring ability, the ball handling, I mean, what else? And then defensively, he's basically the whole package. And let's go ahead and get the obvious out the way. Clearly, a 7-footer at 195 pounds is going to need to bulk up. I know they said this about KD and he still dominated early in his career while being super skinny, but KD did not play center, and I'm 90% sure Chet will be glued to the center position, or at least power forward in Orlando or whatever team that gets him if Orlando passes him up. Therefore, he's going to need to bulk up. A center as slim as he is bound to get bullied in the paint by the pros at the next level. Listen, I'm sure we all know this. D1 hoops and the NBA are two very different things, and I gotta admit I could see him struggling early on as he adjusts to the higher level of physicality, but once he gets past that, like I said earlier, he's basically the whole package. Chet Holmgren doesn't just average nearly 4 blocks because he's tall with a crazy wingspan. Nah, I mean, duh, it helps. but he's also got great defensive instincts. He knows how to position himself to defend his opponents without fouling too much, and while also creating the toughest shot possible for whoever he defends. And then beyond that, he's got the build to guard 1 through 5, which is extremely valuable in the NBA. For example, not to say he plays like Bam Adebayo, because he doesn't outside of the generic center position abilities, but Bam Adebayo's gained some notoriety for being able to defend both bigs and the quick creative small guards at a high level. And that's a skill I could really see Chet developing. He seems agile enough to do it even if he bulks up a whole lot. But anyway, moving on from what makes Chet possibly the best prospect, because we could go on and on. Before I wrap this video up, we gotta cover his fit into the team. And I saved this for last because it's short, it's pretty simple. The Orlando Magic technically don't lack a center. I mean, they got Jonathan Isaac, who's still under contract, and they've got Mo Bamba, who they used for a good portion of the season. However, in the same sentence, Jonathan Isaac is always injured, and unfortunately, he's like Kyrie as far as having a bunch of focuses off the court. And then Mo Bamba, I'll give him his credit, you know, he's been solid, but he's just honestly underachieved according to his expectations to this point in his career. And then besides those two, if they absolutely needed someone, you could say they got Wendell Carter Jr. to take over this position. But based on their starting lineup history, he usually runs power forward. Therefore, drafting Chet is as simple as fulfilling their needs as far as a reliable center, at least for the immediate future. I mean, it's arguably their most lacking position because they definitely don't need more guards. They've also got plenty forwards. And yeah, the lack of consistency in their big man position just seems to be one of their main gaps as they move forward in this rebuild. I mean, you're not gonna tank forever, are you? So yeah, overall, Chet to Orlando pretty much solves that issue, and I wouldn't really be surprised, but it'd just be like, what's the reason if they overcomplicated it and went with someone else? But anyways, that's about it for this video. Y'all let me know what you think of this scenario and also the draft lottery results. Is your team down bad? Why or why not? Is Chet to the Magic as obvious a move as I think? Let me know in the comments. And that's it. Like the sub, share it, sub if new, all of that, and I'm out.